I know exactly how that feels like, waking up feeling not okay. When waking up is so incredibly hard because you have nothing to look forward for. And there's certain aspects in your life where you haven't figured it out, but you're trying. Maybe because you're not like everyone else who can just wake up purposeless. Maybe because you're someone who's having a hard time doing the things that you don't like doing. That's why it's so hard to wake up. It's so hard to do the things, even like the most basic stuff that you're supposed to do. Like sometimes you ask yourself questions like, what's the point of eating if I have nothing, if I don't have a reason like to eat, to get me to eat? Like what's the point of sleeping? Forget your nightmares not letting you sleep. It's your dreams that's gonna be on you, that's not gonna let you sleep. Because every time you indulge in temptation and just scrolling, you know your brain is telling you, your mind is being on you. It doesn't leave you alone. You're not someone who can just scroll and just laugh and just being entertained watching funny videos that's not gonna impact you in any sort of way. You're uncomfortable scrolling. Yes, it makes you laugh. Yes, it makes you feel sort of happiness. But in the end of the day, you're seeking for fulfillment and contentment that you can't get from scrolling, that you can't get from lowering your standards, that you can't get from being your lower self, lower version of yourself. You're not everyone else. I'm gonna tell you my story. I'm a dialysis patient for 6 years, and even though I've been trying for 6 years, for 6 years I've done self-improvement, self-discovery, self-development. You know, I make money, learning how to make money, journaling, reading book, listening to the right people. I've done sorts of things, but it was not perfect. For 5 years, I'm having a lot of hard time doing the things that I have to do. I can't even eat, and I don't want to eat. I can't get myself to sleep. I have insomnia, not just because of my illness, because of chronic kidney disease, but also because of the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to build an apparel brand, and there's certain ideas that I have for years that some of them I even forgot, but now I wanted to build an apparel brand. And you know, I'm back on track again. I'm starting to be consistent again, and I'm starting to do the things that I'm like doing, because I wrote down my purpose and I wrote down the things that keeps me going. And I know that can only be done through living meaningfully. Yes, I can't socialize. Yes, I don't have a social life. Yes, I don't have friends. Yes, I don't have a romantic life. And I don't even have a social media life. Like, no one messages me, no one greets me happy birthday, no one knows what I'm doing, no one knows the things that I'm going through, no one knows that I'm making a lot, that I made money without diploma, without any sorts of certificate and academic achievement. But I don't have these things to share for, but it keeps me going. I'm doing this every day, even though it's not perfect, even though from time to time I still indulge in scrolling. So these are also the things that I'm having a hard time to doing, the things that I'm supposed to do, and just waking up looking forward. And sometimes, because it's also, we're so scared with what's happening around the world, sometimes it's not just how we look forward to the things that we want to do, but it's also our fear of anything at all. Fear of missing out, fear of people's perception or people's opinion and thoughts of you. You think of that more than anything else. We think of that because we're insecure about what other people might say to us, or people's opinion of us. That can be a fear, and that could cause self-doubt. But you can't stay like this. And I know you're someone capable of changing your life and moving forward. I know you're someone capable of doing the things that you wanted to do. I know you're someone capable of becoming your ideal self, and we all have that. We all think and fantasize of the things that we wanted to do, the things that then we imagine a version of ourselves, or we're happier, we're capable, and they've achieved so much and moved a lot of people and impacted a lot of people. Whatever you're trying to achieve and accomplish, money, fame, whatever you're trying to accomplish, right? And so I know we are fantasizers of that, and we fantasize, but sometimes you can't believe your mind. Why? Because I learned that there's pillars of what makes us happy as human. I think there's only three main reasons. One is interaction, two is consumption, and three is multiplying. One, interaction. We need to be socializing. We need to talk with people, with friends, with family, and talk to people, meet people, new people that we don't know, that that's gonna give us another view in life. Interaction with people. Second is consumption. Well, of course, we need to eat. We need to observe our surroundings, our environment, what's happening, right? And second is multiplying. That could be finding a partner and looking for a romantic relationship. That could like, those are like the three main reasons of what makes us happy. And so when you have those things, that means you're well off in life. That means you're completely fine, but your mind is telling you that you're not. For example, maybe you can eat 3 times a day. Maybe you have a roof over your head. Maybe you have the necessary things in order for you to survive. But maybe in one area of your life you don't have a girlfriend, or you don't have a boyfriend. And of course your mind thinks you're gonna be sad for no reason. That's why teenagers are sad for no reason. Most people are deliberately wanting to be sad, because that could be a prime reason, that could be a primary reason why you wanted to do something and to change something. And it gives us the feeling, the urge to change our lives and to do something that could make us happy. But in order for us to chase happiness, then we have to know sadness. That's why our brain or our mind gives us chemicals and emotions and feelings that would make us sad, especially as a teenager. And so you have to understand these things. You have to know these things in order for you to know why you're unhappy. Because self-sabotaging, self-victimization isn't gonna help you, isn't gonna get you somewhere. It's not gonna make you happier. It's not gonna change anything. Complaining and self-sabotaging won't make it any better. It's gonna make things worse. So you have to mature and be grown up and grown and say to yourself that enough is enough, and I can just self-sabotage. Because you want to know why? Being depressed nowadays is a privilege. Yes, I said it. Being depressed nowadays is a privilege. Because if you think about it, you're completely fine. If you can eat 3 times a day, if you have an internet access, you're completely fine, bro. Think about it. Who knows? Someone out there don't have a choice to be depressed. 8 or 10-year-old kid who his house is in rubble, who lost his hands, and who don't have a house to be depressed in. He can't go in his room to turn off his life and just mope around and just be sad all day and just cry. He doesn't have a bed to be depressed for. He can't just tuck himself in his comfortable pillow. He can't cover himself with a pillow because he doesn't have any pillow. Constantly, every day, there's someone out there that's 24/7 constantly scavenge for food. That's all they know. The only problem that they're solving is, where can I find food? Every day they're surviving, and you don't have that problem, so you're completely fine. Your brain is telling you to be sad because so that you can pursue happiness. So if you don't have the zest of life to get up, if you don't have that reason and that drive to get up, if you don't have that motivation to give up, just think of those things. Those are the things that can get me going. I'm not saying your sadness isn't validated. Through thinking that way, your sadness is validated because you're understanding your situation. You're really understanding what's actually happening in me. What are the things that I have in my life? What are the things that I can be grateful for? And there's so many thousands of things that you can be grateful for. Some might say, they're gonna be complaining, oh, I don't have a dad, but you have a mom that's be there for you. Oh, I don't have a mom, but you have a dad, you have an uncle, you have a friend, whatever you have. If you're completely alone, well, I can eat 3 times a day. I can fucking grind on my own. I can do the things that I want without anybody's expectation. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your perspective on things, because the only things that stop you is your perception of yourself and your perception of world. You're externalizing things so much, but you have to look within. You have to be grateful, and being grateful is a skill. That's something that you have to learn, and so you have to be patient for yourself. You have to be patient and give yourself some time and see the things as it is. You can't just kind of believe your mind. Sometimes it's a deception. Sometimes your mind is decepting you to be sad and to think that, and this overwhelming feeling of sadness and depression and this despair, misery. Your mind is making you feel like that so that you pursue happiness, so that you go out there and find and search for love and consumption and interact. So you can't want those things someday if you don't know how it feels like to feel nothing, to feel worthy. Your mind is a powerful tool. You can really use it to your advantage and get the things that you wanted in your life. At least work for it. The idea of failing scares people. The people's expectation scares people and makes them insecure and makes them doubt themselves. But you have to know you're bigger than that. You have to know that you're gifted. You may not be perfect. You might not have it all figured out, but you are gifted. You are blessed. So it's okay not being okay, because you're okay. You're completely fine. There are still things to look forward for, and there's still things to hope for. Maybe you just need to give yourself some time. Maybe if you give yourself some time to understand your situation, to process what's happening to you, instead of just reacting, then you're eventually gonna figure it out. The way I was, the way other people was that's going the same pain, the same experiences, the same despair and misery as you. Because bro, you're not the only person that is experiencing this. You have to understand that there's people out there that's probably experiencing it worse than you. And I'm not saying that your sadness, like, I'm not saying that just because someone out there is suffering more than you also have to suffer. No, it's just you have to adapt this mindset. You have to know the world that you're living in so that you can push forward. And if you give yourself perspective, if you give yourself enough information, then in the end of the day, you're going to be fulfilled and you're going to be content, not even happy. Because there's this one thing that I realized in life after 6 years of chronic kidney disease, after 6 years of dialysis. The more you chase happiness is the more you become unhappy. I realized that every time I seek happiness, every time I wanted to be happy, the more I become unhappy. Maybe it's because bad things randomly happen. And when you expect yourself to be happy, and then one minor inconvenience happened to you, instantly that's gonna affect your mood, that's gonna affect your emotions, and you're gonna be sad, and it's gonna be having a hard time for you to be happy. But if you expect yourself to be okay of not being happy, and I'm not gonna and if you allow yourself to being okay of not being always happy, then when a bad thing happens, the effect of that bad thing won't be as worse as it is. Bad things happening to you is almost assured. It's inevitable. Bad things going your, because you have a life, you have to understand that. You have a life, you're alive. And so bad things happening randomly is normal. But you have to be grateful, and you have to see things as it is. You have to see things, and you have to appreciate when you're happy. Happiness is so much appreciated if you didn't expect it. It makes you smile, even it makes you just feel grateful to be alive. And you can't be soft, and you can't just, because of minor inconvenience, it makes you self-sabotage and self-victimize and complain. It makes it worse. It makes your feeling worse. It makes your self-esteem, self-worth worse. And so, look forward, get out of bed, look things as it is, and you'll see how it changes your life for the better. This is DK. See you guys to the next video.